Hey beautiful people, Caitlin coming to you from Zone 9B in Central Florida, and this is not about gardening today. It's just something that I learned while in the garden. For those of you who are gardeners or who are getting started in gardening, I think one of the most beautiful things about the ability to watch something grow, to put something in the ground and be able to experience the joy of that, living out a life cycle and then going to seed and then being able to save seeds and then reseed, and it's just a phenomenal life cycle. And I'm looking back and examining my own life, trying to learn from my mistakes so that I don't replicate them in the future. It's kind of like a really bad decision that I made to sow passion flower in a very, very perfect spot. Like, I put it in the best spot ever. Now, for those of you who've never grown passion flower vine, it takes over everything. It sends runners underground, and you're just going on. Also, Florida Betony is another one. If you ever get Florida Betony, you'll never get rid of it unless you like hog it, meaning unless you get a hog to root up and eat all of the betony. Like, you're gonna have it forever. And I've had these experiences in life that have manifest a lot like the passion flower and the Florida Betony. You know, kind of want to say this, kind of don't want to say this, but it's what I learned today, so here we go. There are a lot of things that go on underground and above ground. There are a lot of beautiful things underground and above ground. You can see beautiful foliage and beautiful flowers, and you can see the roots underground, and they could be beautiful, and the soil could be beautiful, and everything could be perfect. But if it's in the wrong spot and it's not causing the reaction it's supposed to get, if it's not beneficial to you there, then I would say it's in the wrong spot, right? So when you garden, for me, it's really hard for me to uproot a perfectly healthy plant because it's not where I want it. So for example, I have about 1/10 of an acre of passion flower right now that I don't want there. But every time I go to pull one up or transplant it or put it in a pot or whatever I'm going to do with it, it makes me feel bad that I'm moving a healthy plant out of a very healthy environment. But what I'm learning this season is that if I don't want it there anyways, and if it irritates me that it's there, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, I want to plant sunflowers there, I want to plant gorgeous flowers there, this is what this spot I purposed it for, I prepared the soil for, and the passion flower just kind of took over, right? So I'm sitting here looking at this perfectly good piece of land, and I'm like, oh, and it's a war within myself. And I'm looking at these flowers and plants in the soil, and I'm realizing, oh my gosh, this is what I've been dealing with within me and with people for the past decade, if not 30 years of my life. So I'm sitting here looking at all of the decisions I made emotionally because I felt bad for people, for animals, for where they were. They were in the wrong location. And I didn't feel like it was my spot to kick them out of my life, meaning the garden space, my heart. I didn't have the heart to say, this is a boundary that you crossed and you don't need to be here. But gardening today, I literally saw and experienced emotionally what I've been going through with these plants. It's a phenomenal thing to experience because everything starts clicking. It's like, oh my gosh, it doesn't matter. It could be the best plant ever, but it's causing me stress that it's not for stress. I love passion flower vines. I just don't love it there, you know? And I'm realizing that, oh my gosh, the more you empower things to be in a position that they're not supposed to be in, the more it hurts you, which cripples your ability to plant beautiful things where they're supposed to be. I'm about to cry right now. This is such a deep lesson that just hit me in my face, like only in the garden would I have learned this. And so I'm sitting here and I'm telling you that if there is a person in your life that takes maybe cute, beautiful, kind, whatever the flower is, it doesn't matter. Because if you look at the garden of your life and you're like, heart, does this bring me joy? And it doesn't, and it really just sucks away the nutrition that you've put into the soil trying to grow something beautiful, which is your life, you know, gotta go and pull it up by the roots. And while you're at it, get all of it out of there and just tell it to keep going. I got some kerosene if you need it. Light it on fire. Shh, be gone. But I'm just saying, like, I am still financially suffering the repercussions of things like this that have happened in my life with people, where I felt so emotionally bad for a person, place, thing, and said position it wasn't supposed to be in, and I felt like it was my responsibility to fix it. Trellis the flower, reposition the flower. Let's put in a fence to support the flower. Let's throw money and try to, you know, shape the flower. We're going to play a florist to come out and shape the passion flower vine. We're going to do that. We're going to shape it all up. You know, we're going to put bows on it. But it doesn't change the fact that it's an invasive flower. It's going to not take over one part of your life, but every part of your life. And then you get down the road 10 years later like I am, and you have nothing to account for everything you gave. It's a hard lesson to learn, but it's one that I want to save you from. So I would use the joy test. If something or someone or some dream or some idea or some investment, if some business, what you're doing, you know, if it doesn't bring you joy, if you're not on cloud 9, it's time for it to go. Because where we're going, where you and I are going, we don't have time for that. We don't. We have phenomenal things to do, guys. I really feel like a new atmosphere is being ushered in. I really do. I really feel like something huge is about to shift. And as bad as it looks don't mean a thing. Because Lord knows when you're starting a garden, it's not pretty. But my God, can beautiful things happen. And I've been watching so many YouTube videos, and so many people want to regenerate the soil. So many people want the world to heal. So many people want this. It's like, don't let people in pain and their hang-ups and their issues, they're not your issues. It's not you, it's them. I don't fault anybody. There's a fly in front. There's a fly like dancing around my camera. So just something I want to tell you that I learned from a person that most people wouldn't associate with. Okay, she is, I want to say, I mean, as a bartender you meet a lot of interesting people, but she was a call girl, basically. And she gave me these words, and I've never forgotten them. And it's been years. If you're not better than my alone, then you're not going to be with me. Talking about her inability to commit to a relationship. And I'm saying that to everyone now. So she may have just been that girl. But that was a piece of wisdom that I think that everybody can benefit from. If there are people or things in your life that aren't better than you by yourself, it needs to go. And if you're the person who needs to improve themselves, when people start pulling away, it's because you're toxic and you need to work on yourself. And you need to stop dragging people down. And one more thing. I'm going to try to keep this under 10 minutes. One more thing. Girls and ladies, it's not your responsibility to fix broken boys. And I don't mean little boys, I mean adult boys. It's not your responsibility. Boys, It is not your responsibility to fix broken girls. Men, find yourself a woman, or men, find yourself women. Women, find yourself men, or whatever you guys do. That's cool, whatever. I'm just saying that it's time for adults to be adults and to let the children play with the children, because there are beautiful things coming and we don't have time to waste. We just don't. We're out of it. But be inspired and be encouraged, because there are so many people who are getting it, like, into soil rejuvenation. Like, I have been doing this for over half my life. You know, this has been something that I've been studying, working towards. Everywhere I've lived, I've tried to put this in where I can, how I can, when I can, and I'm just sitting here like, my God, the internet is a fascinating thing, because just you can find information that you never would be able, I would never find living in this little corner of the world, or Florida, little corner of Florida that I do. And it is fascinating. I mean, just up the road, not up the road, it's a nice little hallway. There's like a horse farm that was bought in Ocala that they're turning into, they're gonna rejuvenate, like they're using it for a complete like rebuild of the soil. Like, are you kidding me? This is happening. Like, I'm so excited. I got exposed to this growing up in Florida, because they said you couldn't grow anything here. Biggest lie ever. For those of you from up north that don't just deal with like our problem, they've never dealt with our problems. It's not that. So it's you. It's just a different gardening style. It's not you. But yeah, no, we're gonna get this place back to the Garden of Eden. Be inspired, because people are doing it all over. And so what's the gem? The gem from the day? The gem of the day is this. A passion flower is a flower, but that doesn't mean it's your favorite flower. I like sunflowers. So if you're not a sunflower, you're not going to be in my garden. I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and I hope that this touches and helps somebody. Until next time, grow strong.